What's going on YouTube? On this episode of AMPlify Podcast, I sit down and I have a conversation with two of my really good buddies from high school, Joey Piatczyc and Dalton Souder, about their successes playing soccer in high school and college. And we did this in hope to provide some value and insight and knowledge on those of you who want to play college soccer, want to step up your game, take it to the next level. I think that you will value from hearing these two talk. If you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and AMPlify Podcast right here. And also do me a favor by leaving a thumbs up on this video. Everyone, welcome to AMPlify Podcast. Two of my buddies in today, my good friends, Joey Piatczyc and Dalton Souder. Go ahead and introduce yourself for the people not listening briefly.
Yeah, my name's Joey Piatczyc. Played ball at West Virginia and now a retired athlete.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit.
I'm a retired athlete as well. I'm Dalton Souder. Went to Lee Summit High School. Went to play school ball at Furman University. And now enjoying the retired life.
Yeah, so the reason I wanted these two on is because they're not going to boast and tell you how much of studs they were playing soccer, but they were, and I think they can provide a lot of value for you young soccer players listening. We're very successful growing up playing soccer in high school and playing at the next level. So we're going to have a good conversation here, and they are my good buddies, so this should be pretty good. But I want to start talking about, because you guys grew up playing together, and we had so many great soccer athletes at our high school. So what was the best part about playing together, just growing up and in high school, before you went off your separate ways?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is like when we were really young, me and Joe used to play against each other.
Yeah.
And so I used to actually hate his guts when we were probably about 10. And then that started to change. We both linked back up at Sporting KC, played together there for a few years. And then my freshman year, we got to play 1 year together at Lee Summit when Joey was a sophomore under Coach Wiebengay. So I mean, that was a cool experience. But just to be able to experience both like playing club with him and high school, I think was something, because they're two kind of different sort of styles. I mean, high school soccer compared to the academy is like almost night and day.
It was. I think it was more enjoyable because there was like less stress, less pressure.
Yeah.
It was like
being around
with
friends.
all the boys that you go
Yeah.
to school with. Like you get out of class and you go to practice.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's up, dude? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And when you got to the academy, it was like strictly business. Like everybody there wanted to be a pro athlete, and like so you get the break of like that stress and pressure of like saying like I have to become an athlete or a pro athlete at like 15 years old. Like that was like a thought that went through my mind a lot when I was a kid. I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta make this happen quick because like I don't want to miss my opportunity. And yeah, going back before, we used to like not like each other at all. Like me and him, Woody, who's like one of our best friends too. So it was just funny to like grow through there, then go to school together, become best friends, play together, and then like be able to train together and do stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, because that has to build some fucking chemistry too, playing that long with each other. And like, you can talk some shit to your friends and bring it like a competitive aspect that you can't really to people you're not used to playing with or don't know as well.
By the time we got to like the high school level, there was me, you, Eric, and Jake. Like we've been playing together forever now, and it was like I could be on the other side of the field and I know exactly what they're going to do or where the ball's going. It just makes things so much easier.
It's a brotherhood. It really is.
So playing in high school, who was the most competitive high school team y'all played? Would have been your junior year, your senior year, Joey, because that's when you guys.
I mean, probably Rockhurst,
Yeah,
right?
Rockhurst
I mean,
or
those guys basically
West
recruited.
was really into their high school ball.
Yeah,
I feel
West
like.
was. Yeah, West was. They were into it.
But
yeah, I mean, I'd say between those two.
Really?
Rockhurst was always stacked. But
Yeah, it's because they can like almost recruit kids. They almost build a team because that's not like a district.
Yeah.
Kids just go there for other reasons. Some just to play high school sports. Obviously it's changed a lot. Like high school sports, at least in the soccer realm, isn't as big as it used to be. It used to be like the top-notch thing, and now it's the academy. But Rockhurst was like. They were the
But we
ones.
had talent too. I mean, Lee Summit. I mean, we had
Dude, that's
me,
what I'm
you,
saying.
Eric, Darby, Woody. Like, My brother. I mean, we had talent. Will Kowski.
Yeah, no, we were a team that should have won state with the caliber of players that we have, but like
we were immature.
We were really immature. You look at some of our practices, man. Like,
I mean, I was a 15-year-old kid, which is crazy to think about. But I mean, I especially.
Yeah, we just
didn't take it serious. We were just young kids, didn't really know.
Yeah, we really didn't, because like I said, like it was almost that break for us. So like for us, winning really, I mean, like obviously, like I hate losing, but winning wasn't like as big of a deal at that point to me, because like I was like, finally, like I just get to be a kid and play again with like no stress.
There was no pressure. Yeah, there's no pressure.
Well, Dalton, I'm gonna start asking you some questions. You mentioned Rockhurst. You ended up being teammates with someone in college from Rockhurst.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Kyle McLagan.
Kyle McLagan. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a stud too, as far as I know. So.
Yeah, he's playing in Denmark right now.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, he's enjoying in Denmark right now. So.
Well, Joey, I'm sorry you didn't get to experience this, but Dalton, your senior year, Joey is a year older than us, so he's a class above us. What was the experience like playing in a state championship game? That's something I wish I could have done in football, which we were close, but that's not something that all high school athletes get to experience.
Yeah, so I mean, it was I don't even know really how to describe it, because I mean, going into the season, I mean, we won a district title the year before, which we shouldn't have won. I mean, playing against North, we were just the underdog, and then so going into the next year, I mean, we had high hopes, high expectations, but nothing to the extent of a state championship at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, going through that season, it was just kind of like game by game. You're just going to grind it out, and then finally getting into playing it. I think just going into the game carefree. None of us, like I said, there was really no pressure on us.
Yeah. So
we were just out there having fun, and I mean, we were clicking at the right time. So.
And that's a huge deal for a high school. Like, you got the whole school behind your back. Especially at least some high school, we were hyped about it.
Yeah, and it was in Missouri too. I mean, it was at Blue Springs South. So I mean, we had a pretty good turnout, and like I said, it was a crazy game going into PKs, 0-0 throughout the entire game, and then
you guys won by PKs.
Yeah, literally coming down to
PKs,
crazy. Coming down to one shot. Roman Pena shout out, but yeah, got the ring, man.
So then postseason, obviously you won Gatorade Player of the Year, which is a huge reward that kind of tops my Powerade Player of the Week nominee. But so how did you find out that you're nominated for Gatorade Player of the Year? Have you been doing that for a while for soccer players, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I think I had no idea. I didn't even find out from Coach Wiebengay. I just I think in the hallway I was just walking to class one time in Falconberry. John Falconberry, the principal, just pulled me over and he was like, "Hey man, I got some good news. Like, you're going to be Missouri Gatorade Player of the Year." And I was just like, okay. I mean, it was after the season and everything. So
yeah, I wonder if they knew during the season. They just didn't want to.
Yeah, I think they might have, and I think us, like I said, I mean, it's obviously being a team sport. I mean, there's no way I win that award without winning a state championship. I think. So I mean, winning the state championship. I mean, after that, that's when all the accolades come. I mean, it's all about the teammates, really.
So despite like you all winning a state championship your senior year, what do you feel you did maybe different during your senior season to be able to achieve that? Like, anything different?
I think a lot of it's just commitment.
Really?
And just the camaraderie with the team. I mean, we kind of built sort of every Sunday we got together and we hung out as a team. And so I think just hanging out as a team, and then just like in the off season, I mean, that's when all the work is really being put in. I mean, just in the weight room and, staying after practice, getting extra reps, everything like that. All of that just kind of plays a big part come November.
So after your senior season, what was your recruiting process like, and what made you choose Furman University?
Yeah, so I mean, I was actually already committed before my senior season started. So I was going to like camps and going there to visit. I actually took a visit there like during the season. So I think just having like a commitment before the season started and just knowing like where I was going to be kind of was like a huge kind of relief for me, just knowing where I'm going and not having to worry about that and just worry about like the season at hand. So.
Were you reaching out to schools, or were they coming in? How does that?
I mean, it was a little bit of both. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you got to do a little bit of homework on your own. Kind of research. Do you want to stay in state or do you want to go? I mean, me and Joey both. I think he wanted to go away and I wanted to go away. So I think going to like a different state and to a school that you're not going to know as many people is kind of something, that I was looking for.
So Furman University, Division I, what conference is it in?
Yeah, it's the Southern Conference.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was being a freshman like there?
It was weird. I mean, so I tore my ACL in the All-American game. That was in December, and then I had to get fit by about late July, early August for preseason. So that was a pretty big change. I mean, learning how to walk again, basically. I mean, Joey can speak to that as well. But being a freshman, it's completely different. I mean, obviously, a senior, you're the top dog, and then freshman, you kind of got to just keep your head down and listen to some of the old guys and just take in as much information as possible.
And when did you earn the starting role? Like, was that?
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't get it right away. It took probably like 3 or 4 games, just hard work and just asking questions and just listening to some of the older guys, ahead of me. And then I think the 4th game of the season, we were playing Clemson at home, and that was my first start. And that was just the speed of play and just the physicality. It's night and day compared to high school.
All right, well, I want you to leave them with this. What is your biggest piece of advice for a high school soccer team wanting to win a state championship or even just get there?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it all starts, in the off season. Summer workouts, it's huge. Going to the gym, getting bigger, getting stronger, getting faster, and then just the camaraderie. I mean, you got to be, you got to be cool with your teammates. You got to know kind of their tendencies and the chemistry, just playing together. Because a lot of like our state championship run was, kind of a nucleus with like some of the same, 5-6 guys that we won a district title with. So just becoming close with those guys and, creating a brotherhood is something that'll go a long way.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, tell them what position you play. I don't know if you mentioned that.
Center back.
Center back, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Different from JoJo.
Joey, what position do you play? Have you played?
I play the 8, which like in soccer, it's a center mid, just like box to box, so you're kind of all over the place. You can find yourself covering guys at left back, right back. You can find yourself shifting into the defensive end. You can find yourself up front. Really, you take yourself and you're literally box to box. You're finding yourself all over the pitch.
Cool. Well, I saw some accolades. Finished number 1 in West Virginia history with 35 career assists, 21 game-winning points, and so the MAC Player of the Year, All MAC First Team. That's some cool shit, man. Congrats on that.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And drafted in the 4th round of the 2019 MLS draft by the New York Red Bulls. Honestly, I don't watch the MLS, so I have no idea who the fuck that team is. But what I do know is being drafted to play professional sports is a big deal. So I first want to talk about what was your recruiting process like your senior year or junior year, whenever you started getting recruited?
I don't know. I thought it was kind of odd because I knew almost nothing about college soccer. I was like it was like walking to a blank state. I knew it was like a big deal to go play, but I didn't know anything about like who was the best teams, who was known for being like in Alabama football, like who was that in soccer. I didn't know. And so, do a little research.
Who was it? Who is the Alabama of soccer?
I would probably say you look at teams like Wake Forest, North Carolina, Chapel Hill, UCLA. Yeah, they've fallen off lately. Duke is a really good program. Kentucky's a good one.
East Coast, I'd say.
Yeah, the East Coast.
Sounds like
this year's the East Coast ran it. I think there was only like 2 or 3 California teams that even made the tournament this year.
Damn.
The East Coast, we really put it down this year.
ACC is probably like for soccer, like SEC football. I'd say.
Yeah, I would say that too. I still played in the academy. I made the choice to quit playing high school soccer after my sophomore year and stay in the academy.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I really felt like I had a chance to go pro maybe before college. I was, like 14, 15 years old. I remember I had to call Wiebengay and ask him if it was okay to be late to my freshman year tryouts because I was traveling with Sporting KC's reserve team to Houston to go play in like a pro match. And I was like, I think I'm that close, so I'm going to go take this opportunity. Ended up, we were in Texas playing against Vancouver Whitecaps, another MLS academy, and West Virginia was out there. I really didn't know much about him at all and ended up getting a phone call from this guy named Chad who no longer is with the program. But he talked me into coming out there, and like the facilities were unbelievable. Coach was awesome. Team camaraderie was great. So that was the fit for me.
That's a big thing too. I feel like coach, like
Biggest
dude.
Biggest.
whoever. I
thing,
mean, you got to
think.
do like if you don't like the coach, then don't go to that school. I mean, you got to.
Bro, yeah.
This is the guy who's literally going to
Well,
be.
yeah, you look at what you're doing for the next 4 to 5 years of your life, where you're going to be, and you don't want to transfer because that's a big process. I've seen guys go through it, and like for me too, the biggest advice I could give is like, don't worry if it's D1, D3, NAIA.
Yeah.
We lost to a D2 college school in the spring, like playing against Charleston, who's a great program too, but like D3 schools can beat D1 schools. That's just a label of how big the school is. But find a coach and a program that's right for you, and that just happened to be West Virginia for me.
I would definitely like. Don't get like caught up in like the D1.
Yeah,
thing.
dude.
Like,
People like
super easy.
Like,
there's some really good
super.
D2 schools out there, like even like locally, like Rockhurst.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that's a top D2 school, and they could easily compete with like some of the D1 schools.
Yeah, like those kids
easily.
that you see on Twitter putting like D1, all these offers. Like fuck off. Like it's really not that cool of a thing, dude. Like
I feel like soccer is kind of like baseball in the sense of the recruiting to play professional. There's like a lot of abundance and a lot of routes to go to be able to get exposed.
Yeah. I mean, of course, D1's your biggest platform to get exposed.
Yeah.
Like that's of course that's the biggest one, but it's not the only pathway. And you look at like 2% of all kids are gonna go pro, so a lot of people got to be like realistic. And like it even hit me at my junior year because I just didn't have that good of a year. Like it doesn't happen for everybody. And for almost everybody, actually. So just go somewhere that you're going to enjoy your time because it all comes to an end.
Yeah.
So when did you start on West Virginia?
I started the first game my freshman year. Who were we playing? St. Mary's, and I was so tired after like half the game. I was like, dear God.
So what I want to know, how do you adapt a leadership role as like the young guy on the team? Because that can be kind of weird.
Yeah, it was actually really weird. I came in and was playing over our team captain. I took his position, and that was really weird for me. But I got to see him still lead from not being on the field, so I thought that was like cool to learn about. Then there's a lot of responsibility. We were playing Virginia Tech, and there was like 3,500 people, sold out crowd, and I was like, I just went from playing in front of nobody to this. And there's older players that help you through it. That's part of the game, whether it's at the professional level, college, high school. Like the older guys, that's their job. They help you out.
That takes some maturity too.
Yeah,
especially in his position, getting his spot taken by an incoming freshman.
Yeah,
he's a captain, but still be able to lead.
Yeah,
not a lot of people can do that.
It was
accept that.
Cool thing to see. Then I just ended up kind of having a blowout freshman year. Was able to be freshman of the year for my conference, and that gave me a lot of confidence going forward from there.
So when did you have your ACL injury?
I had it 3 days before preseason of my senior year.
And you both recovered fast as fuck.
You
both touch on that. What was the recovery process like? I know so many soccer players get knee injuries, ACL injuries. How'd y'all recover so fast? What was that process like?
Was yours ACL and meniscus?
Yeah, ACL, meniscus, and strained my MCL. I forget what they call it, the something of death. I don't know, the triple something. It sucks. Yeah, that's a long process, man. It's a really long process, and mine was
mental process.
Yeah, really mental. His was as he just got to college, so that's a big slap. It's you got to gear up for this thing that you don't know too much about. So his is probably a lot different from mine. Mine was my year to try and play pro with all my boys that I'd gone through so much stuff with at school, and 3 days before for it to tear, I'd put in so much work, and I was like, damn. But it gave me a lot of motivation. No way I could have came back with that. The trainer we had at school was top notch.
Yeah.
He was incredible. I probably, if needed, could have played in 8 months. I ended up holding off almost 13 months because there was no rush. And my first game back, I was in Spain playing this summer, and was against Villarreal's B team, which was probably the biggest game I've ever played in. It was just a friendly, but it was a really cool experience for that to be the start of a really great thing coming forward after that.
Cool.
Yeah, ACL injuries too. usually it takes like a year. It takes 12 months.
It's
I remember.
Yeah, it's a long.
I mean, I was playing on it like after 8 months, but I mean after games it would be like
Sore.
extremely sore and like achy. But like it took like 12 months for mine to like completely feel.
Jesus.
The biggest thing is like getting your muscle strength back. Or like I'd try and flex my quad, and it's just like this flaccid muscle leg just sitting there and like couldn't do anything. I was like, why don't you work? Like, what's wrong with you? And yeah, it was painful. What'd they graft for you?
Mine was patella tendon.
Yeah, see, they ruptured my hamstring and put my hamstring in my knee, and dude, like, it is the most painful thing I've ever gone through in my life. And unfortunately, I got another major one coming up that I'm not looking forward to at all.
Well, before you touch on that real quick, because you obviously came back from it and your team, your senior year, you guys won the MAC Conference Championship game. So what do you feel it took as a team to be able to win that? Any advice to any college teams trying to win their conference championship?
Yeah, man, like, it was a grind. It was really cool because our conference was like number 3 like strength conference in the country. We had Akron in there, who's like a Final Four appearing team almost every other year. Like, they're a great program.
Yeah.
And we were able to beat them on the road there at their place, and it was like the most insane game ever. We scored like 13 seconds left and won in overtime.
Yeah.
Every game we won, I think, in our conference, we either were tied or came back from winning or from losing to win it. In the conference game, we were down 1-0, tied at 1-1, down 2-1, tied at 2-2, and scored with like 3 minutes left in this like pouring rain with great fans. It was incredible. The first time we've won the MAC as a school, we did it undefeated. We just put a lot of grind and grit into like what he was saying with winning. Like, you just got to take your mentality to the next level. That was the biggest thing in college to me, was getting comfortable with being uncomfortable in the weight room, failing, learning to fail, and like learning how to succeed from that.
You gotta be mentally strong.
Yeah, you gotta be really. You can't be like embarrassed about anything. You gotta like go after things, fail, and that's how you learn to be better.
So what was the MLS draft like? How did that come about? And then just tell us about the injury that led you to ultimately hanging up the cleats and deciding to move on.
I had a really like interesting path of it all. So I went to the Columbus Crew, an MLS team, combine right after school. Was fine, did really well, had an assist and scored out there. Felt like I did great. The coach that was there is now the national team coach, Greg Berhalter, and like it was the next day he became the national team coach. So it was like great to play in front of him, do really well. Felt great. Went to Las Vegas with 5 other MLS teams. Started feeling something weird in my knee. Didn't know what it was. Knew I didn't have time to deal with it because the big combine was coming up in Orlando. Got down there and my knee started swelling up again after like 2 days. And they thought it was something really minor, this thing called a plica. It's like tissue that I'd maybe have to get removed. Nothing super, super serious. Got my MRI, torn meniscus. All right, whatever. Red Bulls called me. They were so cool about everything. They were like, look, your opportunity's here. Get healthy. Make your way here. Don't worry about rushing it. They're great people.
It's got to give you some closure a little bit.
Yeah, man. They were just like, look, it's an injury. It happens. Come back. Well, then I go to my surgeon, and he's like, there's a bigger problem. Your articular cartilage is pretty much just fucked, and we're going to have to do surgery. It's 9 to 16 month recovery with high re-injury risk. And I was like, well, like, how bad is that? And he's like, you could possibly need to like have serious knee problems and knee surgeries at age 30. You're not even doing recreational sports with your kids by then.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that sucks. Like,
yeah.
So what's the deal? So they take my cartilage, send it to a lab in Boston. They regrow the cartilage through stem cell research. They put it back in, and I can't play for like almost 16 months. That's like hoping that I'm healthy, you know? So I'm 25 trying to enter the league. Like, it's just not very plausible with a high injury risk.
Yeah.
So I never really felt great at the combine. You know, I was like, you see all these mock drafts when it's projected to go like first round, maybe early second round. And like, I knew when I got out there, like, that was going to change because I wasn't going to be able to do what I, normally do. I was in a lot of pain. Ended up going, I think, like 84th in the draft, which is like, towards the bottom, to a great club. They won the Supporter Shield last year, which is like the regular season title. They're a great club, great people there. But yeah, ultimately came down to like my general health and like what I wanted to do long term in life, and like that's way more important than trying to chase the dream, and it sucks to say it and come to reality with it. Like basically within a week I went from going pro, getting ready for preseason to surgery to finding out I couldn't play anymore. So just a real flip upside down. But like everybody's career comes to an end. D probably has something to speak on that too, but like I'm just excited to be able to use that same energy somewhere else. I'll keep training super hard. We work out at Boost and like try and go crazy in there. But it's just come to an end.
That's life, man. Well, me and D Souder are about to go hit the links, get a little tea time, but I want to wrap it up with this. You can fire quick answers, try to give the best advice you can. Both of you, I want you to answer this. I got 3 questions for y'all, okay? What is the biggest difference between the competition of high school and college soccer?
Speed of play.
Yeah, speed of play.
Same for football.
Yeah, and then you go from the level of like growing as a player to dog eat dog, like you got to win championships. It's a pro mentality when you get to college.
Okay. What is one regret y'all have from playing when you were younger in high school that you wish you could go back and change?
Probably that your freshman year, my sophomore year, like us just being immature and like not realizing how good of a team we had.
Yeah, just realizing the moment that you're in, and like it goes by so fast.
Taking a little more serious.
Eric went pro a year later. I'm sure he regrets the same. Like we could have easily been a state championship team with ease.
So what is y'all's biggest advice to give to soccer players entering high school?
Entering high school, I would definitely say get a strength and conditioning program. I think that was big for me when
physicality is huge, even in high school, and it even picks up again in college. So finding some sort of workout routine, reaching out to somebody who
diet.
Diet.
I didn't change mine till college, and that was a big change.
Injury prevention as well. All kind of
little things that like look at what the pros do and try and mimic
just
it
taking
as early
care of your
as
body.
possible.
Yeah.
Lastly, how do you move on from playing a sport you love and playing all your life? Like mentally, how do you give yourself closure to be able to accept that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, for me is just like finding new things to enjoy, for me, like golfing and now like weightlifting, like it's just fun. Everything will come to an end eventually, but like it's just being able to reach out and experience new things and finding new things that you enjoy. That's kind of something that has helped me kind of take my mind off the game.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best advice you can get there. Like obviously it's fresh for me. It's like 7 days.
Yeah, and you never really get over it. But
week. Yeah, I think I'll coach to try and stay in the game, help kids out, do it that way. I like weightlifting as well with him. Love golfing when my knee's healthy again. I'll come whip your guys' ass.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, plug your Instagram. I don't know what your Instagram is, so these people can check you out and follow you.
Mine is at Joey Piatczyc, JoeyPiatczYC.
Mine is DSoud and then an underscore.
He doesn't even fucking know.
DSoud underscore 5, right?
No, I think I changed the 5. I think it's just DSoud.
Retired and took the number out.
Yeah.
Dope. All right, boys. Well, thank you for coming on. I'm sure that y'all will be on again, but hey, the future is bright for all you guys. All right, we'll see you podcast. Thank you for listening.